I swear to God.
Nigga said they took me on the jail tour.
Nigga, I seen every fucking jail.
Yo.
Nigga, these things have me anywhere.
That's crazy.
But through that process, learn from.
Yes.
I became a reader while I was in prison. I read some books and shit before I went to prison, but I understood when I went to prison, I learned and understood the importance of reading. Anything.
I'm not a reader. I ain't gonna cap.
But I mean, you should.
I watch your movie. I'm bad at the reading. I read contracts, read shit that's important.
You ain't gotta read. You ain't gotta read.
Just like
they got fucking audio books.
No, I know. I want
podcasts. You can listen to shit that you're interested in.
I'm ready to get on that.
But knowledge is what I'm saying. It's power.
And all the time, bro. The more you know, the more you grow. That's a fact.
The knowledge.
I mean, like. And me, I taught myself, I say more from just reading. I like to put boots on the ground, like to learn about my history. Most people read about Black history on the internet. I went to Africa, stayed for a month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really learn about our culture. So I do shit a little bit different. Like, but books, the words don't move to me. It's just like I'm wasting time to me. It makes it feel like what am I doing?
What? That ain't for everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted.
What is for everybody is what's inside.
Don't get it twisted though. Nigga can read. You heard? Yeah. You know what I mean? I ain't on this 4 minutes for a drop. You heard?
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm gonna send you some good books.
Yeah.
I am. I'm send you some good books.
Like, I used to read back in the days, like, Hov put me on the Donald Goins books. Back in the day, I read a lot of shit like that. Like, shit that interests me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I read the Real Freeway Ricky Ross book. I even got it signed. You know what I mean? Like I said, shit that interests me.
Those are cool books.
Not just gonna sit there and be like,
those are stories.
It's a book. Let me read it.
Those are stories. I'm talking about knowledge books.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna learn from. Like,
since you
learn.
You
48 Laws of Power.
Real life.
You know what I mean? Like, I read 48 Laws of Power, shit like that.
Everybody read that shit.
Yeah, everybody, right?
But
they be on
it's
the
a good book. It's a good book to read. Sun Tzu, Your Art of War is good to read.
Yeah.
All those books good to read.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I dibble dabble, but I'm not going to be like, I'm going to join the book club. Fuck out of here.
Nothing wrong with reading.
They'll be like, Bleek, you capping.
Don't preach the message to the kids.
Even my daughter be like, my dad capping.
You gotta read.
The book club.
You gotta let the kids fucking understand that. That's what
I'm not.
Power lies and knowledge. However you get it. Like I said, you don't gotta read.
The more you know, the more you grow.
Book,
however
whatever,
you receive the knowledge.
Learn from people. You know what I'm saying? You can learn each one, teach one.
That's right.
Whatever it is.
I learned from you.
Learn. You know what I'm saying?
I remember, you don't even know I learned this from you. I was on tour with this nigga one day, and this nigga got a check over the envelope. And I'm like, yo, what's that from? He like, yo, this from BMI, my publisher check. Like, publisher check? What's that? He like, you don't get that? Like, nah, fam. He like, yo, you never signed up to ASCAP, nothing. I'm like, nah, what's that? Nigga like, yo, I'm put you on. Tell your lawyer, sign you up, man. He said every song that get played on the radio, video, all that, you get paid. I'm like, you serious? He like, yeah, every 3 months. So you definitely put me on to that. You know what I mean? Like, you learn from everybody you're around, and I took knowledge and a piece from everybody. Like, Earth Gotti was a major.
I'm a sponge, Bleek. Niggas don't realize, I people watch and shit.
Yeah.
I watch and analyze everybody. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. Meek Mill. Oh my goodness, Memphis Bleek is taking some type of backlash because he said he don't like to read. And I don't know, I just think it's a teachable moment. He made it very clear in that podcast with Ja Rule, he can read. And he even said Hov gave him some books to read. And I remember LL Cool J said one of the reasons how he expand being a lyricist, he used to just read the dictionary. But I tend to believe this, right, about reading just in general. Let me tell y'all this. You tend to fall in love with reading, I think, 3 points. When you first learn to read, and that kind of wears off. I think when you find something that very interests you in reading, I think when it very interests you, you find interest in reading, may it be comics, may it be Harry Potter books, Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. You know, usually when you're younger, it's kind of that. Maybe a biography. For me, I was paid to read Inner City Miracle, Judge Mathis. I even did a video about it on the channel, how it kind of changed my life, right? And I even got an autograph. I still probably got that book somewhere. My mom he autographed it to me. If you want to wear a good biography book, that's a good one. That's one that kind of changed my life. And then 3, kind of when you kind of get older, you learn the value in reading. Kind of right when Memphis Bleek in his 40s, 50s, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you kind of learn the value of reading when you get older. I see a lot of people fall in love with reading books when they get older. A lot of people fall in love, but I tend to believe the sweet spot is when you find something that you really enjoy reading. And some of the books I enjoy reading, kind of some things he talked about, how he bought Freeway Ricky Ross book. Bush Jones, the YBI book. That book had me hooked. Reading that book had me hooked. When you trying to find yourself you might went through a bad breakup, you might be going through a rough patch, books like 48 Laws of Power, motivational books. I've done audio books, but to keep my mind and my eyes sharp and my mental sharp, I kind of tend to want to read stuff. I like to research, so I like to research information. He's right. They said some things. You don't like to read, then listen to podcasts or listen to people who have intel and information. When you just listening, you drilling in your head. But the whole thing about it is to be able to retain the information. Yes, you can read. The thing about it is retention. Can you retain it? AKA, can you comprehend it? Can you understand what you're reading? And that's why it was called reading comprehension when you have some of those state standardized tests. But you tend to enjoy reading, bro. You tend to enjoy it, in my humble opinion. You tend to enjoy it when you find something you enjoy reading. Now, the thing about it is, a lot of the women that was reading in high school and middle school, they was reading thug love books where I was from. We didn't really understand it. A lot of our mothers was reading these thug love books, these sister soldier books and shit. Like, we just like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. So a lot of women, like in our community, bro, they was, and you wonder why they're so sexualized. It starts off at the house. I don't even want to make it about this, but it starts off at the house. And if you really knew what them little colorful pink and purple books they was reading, you know what I'm saying? That's what they was reading. Like, I see them books all the time. Girl had them books that's what they was reading, bro. But we was just so one track minded. We wasn't paying attention to that. But if we was actually really paying attention to that in the moment, we would know how sexual women really are. And I say it all the time. Most guys that you lose their virginity, it's a woman that's pressing play on that. Real talk. It's a woman that's the aggressor. But nonetheless, a lot of people say, well, he said it's ignorant, but when I listen to it, and that's why I listen to it, the whole thing in its entirety, I feel what he's saying. Not everybody, and Ja Rule said it took for him to go to jail to get that. And a lot of guys. No, T Grizzly, he had a public defender. This is why I like listening and hearing people's life stories and reading shit. T Grizzly, he had a public defender. He was going to, wham his ass. So when he went in jail, what he did in Kentucky in the first day out, he said he started, learning the law his own when he was in jail. And learned that, they can't call it a robbery. It just, I forget what he said, was just destruction of property or whatever, because they didn't actually leave the jewelry store with the jewels. They never got out the store. So it wasn't a robbery. So he ended up, beating his case. And obviously he he getting exonerated. And, he actually made, as of right now, he's made a great second chance. He made the most of his second chance. But had he not, was able to read and not able to retain the information, but when your life on it, you'll be fucking surprised, what you can do. So some brothers, man, they don't get right till they go to prison. I've worked out with them for years, and the only thing you notice, they're extremely patient, they're extremely disciplined, they're extremely, extremely consistent in what they do. And I had a theory, and some people may not like it. I think American men, after about the 3rd or 4th grade, need to go into military school. And I think women need to go into etiquette school. I would say 6th, 7th, 8th grade, hardcore military school. In high school, you integrate them back with each other. And I think, you know, people who are the children that's on trajectory to go to college, they think gonna go to college, however you want to, you know, you measure that, they should go to a kind of a prep thing. People that's going, you know, kind of more of a tradesy kind of thing, they should go to trade thing. You know what I'm saying? But I do think for that 6th, 7th, 8th, and maybe throw 9th grade in there, I'll just say 6th, 7th, 8th, women should go to like, you know, charm, etiquette class, but they still have a certain curriculum where they learn it. And the guys should go to kind of more military thing. So they know how to load a gun, shoot a gun, clean a gun, push-ups, make sure they in shape. You know, I know how to defend themselves. You know how they know structure, consistency, discipline, all the things that some people, and I'm saying everybody, but some people got to go to prison to learn. And you might have some people that say, you know what, I want to keep going the military route. You have something for them. I think, you know, the Department of Education need to be different. I think that would be best. That would be best. But like I said, them the 3 phases that I think people really love to read books, reread. You know, I know some people say, you know, he said something important. I just rather watch the movie. What I learned about watching videos and reading, it's 2 different things. Even if it's the exact same script, the exact same words, how I read it and how I watch it is kind of 2 different things. And even when you talk about the book version versus the movie version, like the Maze Runner, I love the Maze Runner. I got to read the books. They say the books is 10 times better than the movie. Man, damn, that movie on the tip of my tongue. Doom. You know, my boy said the books is way better than the movie. My boy wife said the books is way better than the movie. So I ain't knocking nobody for what they believe and what they don't believe in. But to be honest, you get a lot, you get ahead in life when you read. If it's as far as researching the subject, reading the Bible, you get so far ahead. Reading has got me so keep me so far ahead, bro. Like it expands your vocabulary, it expands your knowledge, and also what you retain, what you listen to. You know what I'm saying? I think also it plays a part when you hear videos, you know, and you retain that information. So try to retain information however you way. You know, you got times you listen to your bullshit, but it's gotta be a lot of the times where you listen to knowledgeable stuff too. Investment talk. You may not be ready to invest, but you just listening to it. Okay, you kind of drilling in your head, this, that, and the third. You might take some notes down. Woo, 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 woo. You know, it might be fitness. I might not be ready to start, but guess what? Woo, 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 woo. So you preparing your mind to have this information so it's in the bank so you're ready to use it. So, you know, I think it was, you know, everybody learned different, but the power in reading, dog, like your knowledge gonna jump up. It's definitely gonna jump up. You know, especially as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a rapper, especially off a lot of y'all that like to impress women. There's nothing more impressive. You know, fuck what they talking about, jewelry, a hot car. There's nothing more impressive than a knowledgeable a man. Nothing. But I'll just say that, leave that there. Appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit my link tree, join the Patreon, check out the Free Game 89 channel, check out my Detroit channel. All those links inside the link tree. Want to donate, that's there as well too. Peace.